It may seem unsettling at first, but it's true. Everything is temporary. Nothing stays the same forever. The seasons change, the tides shift, the stars burn out, and even the mightiest empires crumble. Our lives, our emotions, our struggles, none of it is permanent. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that time flows in one direction, that every moment we experience is already slipping through our fingers like grains of sand. But instead of despairing at this truth, they found freedom in it. They understood that acceptance of impermanence is the key to inner peace. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." This is a powerful reminder that everything we experience is part of a natural cycle. What rises will fall. What begins will end. But this impermanence is not a tragedy. It is simply the way of things. When we resist it, we suffer. When we embrace it, we find peace. The things that trouble you today, the worries that keep you up at night, the pain you feel, it won't last. The same is true for moments of happiness, bursts of inspiration, and fleeting triumphs. Everything moves forward, and so must we. Think about your own life. The friendships you had in childhood, the places you once called home, the struggles that once seemed unbearable. They have all changed, haven't they? You are not the same person you were 10 years ago. You won't be the same person 10 years from now, or perhaps even 1 year from now. This is neither good nor bad. It simply is. The Stoics remind us not to cling to what must inevitably fade, nor to fear what will eventually come. Instead, we should appreciate things as they are, in the moment they exist, knowing they will not last. Even our thoughts, beliefs, and perspectives evolve over time. The more we resist this truth, the more we invite suffering into our lives. Seneca taught that every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. We fear endings, but in reality, they are just transitions. The loss of one thing makes space for another. A job that ends allows you to discover new opportunities. A relationship that fades gives room for growth and self-discovery. Even the end of life itself is simply another transformation, just as day turns to night and back again. Knowing this, we can stop grasping at the illusion of permanence. We can let go, not with sadness, but with gratitude. After all, it is impermanence that makes life precious. If things lasted forever, we would take them for granted. If everything is fleeting, what should we do? The Stoics tell us to focus on the present. This moment is the only thing we truly have. The past is gone, the future is uncertain, only now exists. So, live fully, love deeply, act with courage, speak with kindness. Do not postpone joy, do not delay gratitude. Recognize that the beauty of life lies in its ephemeral nature. If you savor the present moment, you will have no regrets, for you will have lived it fully and with intention. To dwell in the past is to trap yourself in something that no longer exists, and to worry about the future is to surrender your peace to what may never come. Consider how you respond to life's changes. Do you resist them? Do you mourn the loss of what was, or do you welcome the arrival of what is? It won't last. Nothing does. This isn't a reason to despair. It's a reason to embrace each moment as it comes, to accept both joy and sorrow as passing clouds in the sky of existence. The Stoics would remind us, memento mori, remember that you must die, not to fill you with fear, but to free you from it. When you remember that nothing lasts, you are no longer a prisoner of loss. You are liberated to live. Instead of fearing change, see it as an opportunity, a reminder that life is an ongoing story, each chapter leading to another. There is an old saying that goes, "This too shall pass." It applies to everything, both our hardships and our joys. When you are in pain, remind yourself that it will not last forever. When you are happy, remind yourself to appreciate it while it's here. Nothing is permanent, and therein lies the secret to true contentment. We do not need to cling, nor do we need to push things away. We simply need to experience life as it is, moment by moment. By doing so, we avoid the unnecessary suffering caused by attachment and aversion. Let each moment, each experience shape you without resistance, allowing life to unfold as it should. So, whatever you're going through, whether it is pain or pleasure, difficulty or ease, know this: it won't last. And that's okay, because life is not about holding on to what must fade, but about learning to flow with it, to live well, to love well, and to let go with grace. That is the Stoic way. If you find yourself grasping at what was or fearing what will be, remind yourself that peace comes from embracing the here and now without judgment or resistance. And when you find yourself afraid of change, remember that change is the very essence of life. Imagine a river, always flowing, never stagnant. It does not resist the current, it moves with it. That is how we must live. To flow with life rather than against it is to find peace. To let go of attachment is to find freedom. Because when we truly understand that it won't last, we finally learn how to truly live. Fear subsides when we surrender to the natural rhythm of life, trusting that what is meant for us will come and what is not will pass. Think about the greatest lessons you've learned. Did they come from easy times? Or did they emerge from struggle, from moments of deep transformation? Often we fear what we lose, but what if loss is simply the doorway to a new version of ourselves? Every hardship has the potential to shape us into something greater. Every sorrow eventually fades, and from it we gain wisdom. Nothing that happens is wasted. Every experience, every moment, contributes to the unfolding story of our lives. Even pain, when accepted rather than resisted, becomes a teacher, illuminating parts of ourselves that we never knew existed. But transformation is never easy. It requires patience, resilience, and an open heart. We often look back on difficult moments and realize they were necessary steps toward growth. Without adversity, there is no evolution. Without challenge, there is no progress. The pain of today could be the strength of tomorrow, and what seems unbearable now may one day be seen as a blessing in disguise. Even in the darkest moments, there is an opportunity for wisdom if we are willing to embrace it. Change is inevitable, but suffering is optional. When we loosen our grip on what we think should be, we allow life to show us what can be. We become lighter, freer, more open to the beauty of existence. So, rather than fearing what is fleeting, celebrate it. Rather than mourning what has ended, welcome what is beginning. The past has served its purpose, and the future is yet to be written. The only place where life truly happens is here, now, in this fleeting instant, and that is more than enough. When we accept this truth, we step into a state of deep presence. Instead of resisting the ever-changing flow of life, we move in harmony with it. Resistance breeds suffering, but surrender leads to peace. Every moment is an invitation to let go of fear and embrace what is. It is in this surrender that we find true liberation. The more we release our attachment to outcomes, the more we experience life as it unfolds, rather than as we wish it to be. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, to accept reality on its own terms and thrive within it. Life's greatest paradox is that while everything changes, the lessons we learn remain. Every experience leaves an imprint, shaping who we are. The love we give, the kindness we show, and the wisdom we gather stay with us, even as the world shifts around us. Our growth is cumulative, our wisdom an ever-expanding reservoir that equips us for the unknown. The greatest gift we can give ourselves is the ability to adapt, to learn, and to move forward without fear. Change is the only constant, and through it, we become more resilient, more capable, and more attuned to the impermanence of life. So do not run from change. Do not fear the unknown. Instead, embrace it, welcome it, trust in the process of life. Understand that nothing remains stagnant, and that is not a curse but a blessing. The past has served its purpose, providing lessons, strength, and clarity. The future is yet to be written, offering an open canvas upon which we can paint our aspirations, our choices, and our actions. The only place where life truly happens is here, now, in this fleeting instant. And that is more than enough. The secret to contentment lies in this understanding. Happiness is not found in what has been or what will be, but in our capacity to fully experience the present moment. Embracing the present doesn't mean ignoring the past or future. It means understanding their role. The past teaches us, showing us where we have been and what we have overcome. The future calls us forward, giving us purpose and direction. But neither should hold us captive. When we live in the past, we trap ourselves in memories that no longer serve us, clinging to what was instead of accepting what is. When we obsess over the future, we sacrifice the richness of the moment for illusions of what might be, chasing an ever-moving target that may never materialize. True peace lies in balancing reflection with anticipation, yet always returning to the now, where life is happening in its fullest form. By grounding ourselves in this awareness, we release the weight of regret and the burden of expectation, allowing life to unfold with ease and grace. The way we perceive impermanence determines how we live our lives. If we see it as something to fear, we will constantly seek security and cling to what is familiar, even when it no longer serves us. But if we see it as a natural and necessary force, we can embrace change with open arms. Impermanence gives life its depth, its richness, and its beauty. It reminds us that everything we love is precious because it will not last forever. Instead of trying to hold on to every fleeting moment, we can learn to appreciate it fully while it is here. One of the greatest challenges in life is learning to let go. We struggle to release the past, fearing that doing so means losing a part of ourselves. But the truth is, we are always evolving, and holding on to what once was only prevents us from becoming who we are meant to be. Every experience, every relationship, every success, and every failure contributes to our growth. The more we resist the natural flow of life, the more we suffer. But when we surrender to it, we find peace. The seasons change, and so do we. Just as nature embraces its cycles without resistance, we too must learn to flow with the rhythms of life. Winter does not mourn the loss of autumn, nor does spring resist the coming of summer. Everything in nature transitions effortlessly because it understands its place in the grand design. When we adopt the same perspective, we begin to move through life with grace and ease, unburdened by unnecessary attachments. Fear of change often stems from the illusion of control. We believe that if we plan meticulously and anticipate every possible outcome, we can avoid pain and discomfort. But the reality is, no amount of planning can prevent change. Life unfolds as it will, regardless of our attempts to direct it. The more we accept this, the freer we become. Instead of wasting energy trying to control the uncontrollable, we can focus on what we can influence: our thoughts, our actions, and our responses to the world around us. Happiness is not found in certainty, but in our ability to adapt. The happiest people are not those who avoid change, but those who embrace it. They understand that life is a series of moments, each one offering an opportunity to grow, to love, and to experience something new. They do not dwell in the past or worry excessively about the future. Instead, they live fully in the present, savoring each moment as it comes. Every challenge we face carries within it a lesson. When something ends, it is not just a loss, but an invitation to learn, to reflect, and to evolve. Pain is not something to be feared, but a teacher that shapes us into wiser, stronger individuals. The struggles we endure today will one day be the stories of resilience we tell in the future. Instead of fearing hardship, we should welcome it as part of the journey. Impermanence does not mean insignificance. Just because something will end does not mean it lacks value. In fact, the very nature of impermanence makes each moment more meaningful. A flower that blooms for only a day is no less beautiful than one that lasts for weeks. The laughter shared with a friend, the warmth of a hug, the joy of a sunset. These fleeting moments are the essence of life. Their transience does not diminish their worth, it enhances it. When we understand impermanence, we begin to cultivate gratitude. Instead of taking life for granted, we cherish it. We recognize the miracle of existence, the beauty of connection, and the gift of experience. We no longer rush through life, seeking the next milestone, the next achievement, the next possession. Instead, we slow down, appreciating the simple joys that each day brings. Letting go is not an act of weakness, but of strength. It takes courage to release what no longer serves us, to step into the unknown, and to trust in the unfolding of life. But in doing so, we create space for new beginnings. Every ending is a doorway to something new, a chance to rewrite our story, to redefine who we are, and to embrace all that is yet to come. Letting go is a process, one that requires patience and self-compassion. It does not happen overnight, nor should it. It is an ongoing journey of release and renewal, a practice of learning to loosen our grip on what we cannot control and allowing life to flow as it is meant to. When we let go, we do not erase the past. Instead, we integrate it into our growth, understanding that every experience, good or bad, has contributed to who we are. The past is a teacher, and when we honor its lessons without being shackled by its weight, we move forward with greater wisdom and clarity. We no longer fear change, because we know that change is not the enemy, but the gateway to transformation. Letting go also means relinquishing the illusions we hold about ourselves. Often, we cling to identities, roles, or expectations that no longer align with who we are becoming. We resist shedding old versions of ourselves because we fear what lies beyond the familiar. But growth demands evolution, and to evolve, we must be willing to release outdated narratives. When we free ourselves from these self-imposed constraints, we unlock the potential to become more authentic, more aligned, and more at peace with our true nature. At its core, letting go is an act of trust. It is trusting that even though we may not have all the answers, we are exactly where we need to be. It is trusting that even when life feels uncertain, the path ahead will reveal itself in time. Trusting in the process of life does not mean relinquishing responsibility or effort. It means understanding that while we shape our journey, we cannot control every twist and turn. In embracing this truth, we find resilience and a deeper sense of inner peace. Letting go also invites us to release resentment and forgiveness. Seneca wisely observed, "To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you." Holding on to anger, bitterness, or regret only binds us to the past and weighs down our spirit. Forgiveness is not about condoning harm or forgetting pain. It is about setting ourselves free. When we let go of grudges, we reclaim our emotional energy and redirect it toward healing and renewal. In doing so, we open ourselves to deeper connections, unburdened by the shadows of the past. We must also learn to let go of expectations, both of ourselves and of others. Expectations can create unnecessary suffering when they do not align with reality. When we release rigid expectations, we become more flexible, more open to the beauty of what is, rather than what we think should be. This shift in perspective allows us to experience life with a sense of wonder and acceptance, rather than disappointment and resistance. Letting go is also a path to freedom. The tighter we hold on to what is fleeting, the more we suffer. But when we learn to loosen our grip, we experience life with greater fluidity. Freedom is found in surrendering to the natural rhythm of existence, in understanding that we are not here to control every outcome, but to embrace each moment as it arrives. This is the essence of living fully and meaningfully. Letting go is an act of self-love. It is choosing to honor our own well-being over the need for control or certainty. It is choosing peace over turmoil, growth over stagnation, and freedom over fear. The ability to let go is not a sign of defeat, but of wisdom. It is the recognition that in releasing what no longer serves us, we create space for something even greater to take root. Letting go allows us to make room for new experiences, new relationships, and new opportunities. It is an act of courage that requires us to trust in the unknown and believe that what is meant for us will find its way. Often we hold on tightly to what feels safe, even when it no longer nurtures us. But by loosening our grip and embracing change, we give ourselves permission to evolve, to flourish, and to step into the fullness of our potential. To let go is to accept that we are not meant to stay the same forever. We are constantly growing, learning, and transforming. Every experience, every challenge, and every heartbreak serves a purpose in shaping us into who we are meant to become. By resisting change, we only create suffering. But when we surrender to the natural flow of life, we find freedom in the ever-changing landscape of our existence. Letting go does not mean forgetting or discarding what has been. It means carrying forward the lessons while releasing the weight. It means embracing the wisdom gained through experience while allowing ourselves to step into the present without the burdens of the past. Every goodbye is also a beginning, every ending a new doorway. When we embrace this perspective, we realize that nothing is truly lost, only transformed. At times, letting go can feel like an act of grief, a mourning of what once was, and that's okay. It's natural to feel a sense of loss when we release something we once held dear. But beyond the sorrow, there is renewal. There is an open sky waiting to be filled with new dreams, new possibilities, and new adventures. Letting go is not about erasing. It is about making space for what is yet to come. When we let go, we also learn to trust ourselves. We build resilience and inner strength by proving to ourselves that we can navigate the uncertainties of life. We develop confidence in our ability to adapt, to thrive, and to find joy despite change. The more we practice letting go, the more we understand that our happiness is not dependent on circumstances, but on our ability to embrace life as it is, moment by moment. Letting go is also an act of self-compassion. It is recognizing that we deserve to move forward, unburdened by past mistakes, regrets, or disappointments. It is offering ourselves the grace to heal, to forgive, and to step into the present with an open heart. We cannot rewrite the past, but we can choose how we carry it. We can choose to let it weigh us down, or we can choose to let it strengthen us. The truth is, life is a series of arrivals and departures, of holding on and letting go. The key to peace is understanding that both are necessary. Just as the trees release their leaves in autumn to prepare for the renewal of spring, we too must release what no longer serves us in order to make space for new growth. The more we embrace this cycle, the more we live fully, freely, and fearlessly. Ultimately, letting go is not an act of loss, it is an act of liberation. It is the realization that we are not defined by what we hold on to, but by how we embrace the journey ahead. It is the understanding that life is fluid, ever-changing, and beautifully unpredictable. And in that uncertainty lies infinite possibility, boundless potential, and the endless opportunity to begin again. Life is a fleeting miracle, a precious gift that should never be taken for granted. The moments we have are slipping through our fingers, and yet so often we forget their value. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to see our lives as already lived and to cherish each remaining day as a bonus, a gift from fate that we must not squander. To truly appreciate life is to recognize its fragility, to understand that every breath, every sunrise, every shared smile is an irreplaceable moment in time. We often live as though we have endless days ahead of us, delaying our dreams, postponing our happiness, and waiting for the perfect moment. But as Aurelius warns, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. We must wake up to the reality that our time is limited. Every hour that passes is one we will never get back. This truth, rather than being a source of fear, should ignite a fire within us, to be good, to be kind, and to live with purpose. To truly live is to cherish the ordinary, to find wonder in the seemingly mundane. A walk through a quiet park, the laughter of a loved one, the feeling of the sun on our skin. These are the moments that make life rich. We often seek meaning in grand accomplishments, but meaning is found in the small, everyday experiences that we so easily overlook. When we pause to appreciate them, we begin to understand just how sacred life truly is. Aurelius also tells us, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." What does it mean to truly live? It means embracing the now, engaging fully in our experiences, and not allowing fear or hesitation to hold us back. It means expressing love without reservation, pursuing our dreams with courage, and living in alignment with our deepest values. To hesitate, to live half-heartedly, is the greatest tragedy of all. The impermanence of life is not something to lament, but something to celebrate. It is because life is fragile that it is meaningful. Knowing that we will not be here forever should not cause despair, but rather it should awaken us to the urgency of now. It should remind us that the time to say "I love you" is now, the time to chase our dreams is now, the time to forgive, to connect, to embrace life fully is now. Each of us is given a set of circumstances by fate. Some are fortunate, others face immense hardships. But what we do with the hand we are dealt is what defines us. Love the hand that fate deals you and play it as your own, for what could be more fitting, Aurelius advises. Instead of resisting life's circumstances, we must embrace them, using every challenge, every joy, every experience as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to live authentically. We often live in regret of the past or in anxiety over the future, but neither truly exists. Only this moment is real. When we shift our perspective to see each day as a gift, we become present in our own lives. We stop waiting for the right time and start making the most of the time we have. A conversation with a friend becomes more precious, a quiet morning coffee more profound, and the sound of the wind through the trees more beautiful than ever before. When we allow ourselves to fully experience the moment, we recognize the profound beauty that exists in the simplest aspects of life. The pursuit of external achievements often blinds us to the true essence of life. Wealth, recognition, and status may bring fleeting satisfaction, but they will never replace the depth of genuine human connection, the serenity of stillness, or the joy of being fully alive in the present moment. A meaningful life is not defined by accomplishments, but by the love we share, the kindness we extend, and the way we choose to engage with the world around us. We are often led to believe that success is the key to happiness, but in truth, it is the small, daily acts of love and appreciation that define a life well lived. To cherish life is to accept its uncertainties, to love without guarantee, and to take risks despite the fear of failure. It is to live boldly, knowing that our time is not endless. It is to wake up each day with gratitude, with passion, and with the intention of making each moment count. In doing so, we not only honor the fleeting nature of existence, but also unlock the fullness of life itself. Too often, we wait for the perfect moment to pursue our dreams, to tell someone we love them, or to take that leap of faith. But life does not wait. The only moment we are promised is now. By embracing the present, we allow ourselves to fully experience the emotions and sensations that life has to offer. The warmth of the sun on our skin, the laughter shared with loved ones, the quiet reflection of a still evening. These are the moments that define our existence. When we truly see life for what it is, a precious, fleeting gift, we begin to prioritize what matters most. Instead of being consumed by trivial worries, we shift our focus to living with authenticity and purpose. To realize the value of life is to recognize that everything we experience is temporary. Just as joy is fleeting, so too is pain. Hardships come and go, and while they may leave their mark, they do not define us. When we stop resisting change and instead embrace the flow of life, we find peace in the knowledge that every moment, good or bad, serves its purpose. Marcus Aurelius wisely reminds us, "Think of the life you have lived until now as over and as a dead man. See what's left as a bonus and live it according to nature." This perspective allows us to let go of past regrets and future anxieties and instead focus on making the most of the time we have left. A meaningful life is not measured by the number of years we live, but by the depth with which we experience each day. We must ask ourselves, are we truly living or merely existing? To truly live means to take risks, to be vulnerable, and to open our hearts to the beauty and unpredictability of life. It means acknowledging that time is our most valuable resource and choosing to spend it wisely. Every second we waste in hesitation or fear is a second we will never get back. We must also acknowledge the impermanence of the people in our lives. Relationships evolve, loved ones come and go, and time moves forward whether we are ready or not. This is not a reason to despair, but a reason to cherish every interaction, to express love freely, and to be present with those we hold dear. When we recognize that nothing lasts forever, we become more intentional in our connections. We listen more deeply, we speak with sincerity, and we hold on to moments of laughter and joy with greater appreciation. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." This is not a call to live in fear, but rather an invitation to live with urgency. The awareness of our mortality should not be a source of dread, but a catalyst for action. We should not waste our days dwelling on what we cannot change, but instead focus on the impact we can have in the time we are given. To be good, to be kind, and to contribute to the world in a meaningful way is to honor the life we have been given. In the end, the greatest tragedy is not death itself, but the failure to truly live. Aurelius warns us, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Too many people reach the end of their lives filled with regrets. Regrets of the things left unsaid, the risks not taken, and the moments not fully appreciated. We must not wait until it is too late to live the life we desire. The time to act, to love, and to be fully present is now. As we navigate our journey, let us remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Let us cherish each breath, each sunrise, each fleeting moment, and recognize them for the gifts they are. Let us stop postponing happiness, let go of unnecessary burdens, and embrace life with open arms, because in the end, it won't last. And that is precisely why it is so incredibly valuable. So, as you move through life, remember this: it won't last. The struggles, the triumphs, the sorrow, the joy, they are all temporary. But that is not a reason to despair. It is a reason to live, to love deeply, to give freely, to embrace change without fear. Because in the end, the beauty of life is not in its permanence, but in its ever-changing nature.